Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show of shows that is a show with us two. It is called AHA, AH, a human amongst humans. And now, with an extra special new name or subname, Michael, can you tell us what a subname of our show is?
Death is the best trip of all. That's why it's saved for last.
There
Now
we
you're
go.
well positioned. I am not.
You keep on disappearing.
Yes,
He comes back. He's not dead yet. He's not
but
dead
I'm
yet.
not. Let's see if I. No, I can't. That's better.
Yeah, that's good.
Well,
So,
would you like to know about dying?
yeah, about death. I mean, you are a man who has delved in many religions, I think. Are there any specific theories of death or afterlife or even reincarnation in the religions that you've connected with in your life?
I've needed all the help I could get. You would understand. So I like reincarnation.
Hmm.
I believe all of this.
Hmm.
It's lucky. I was feeling a little scared today
Why?
because I'm going to be, if things go well,
Mhm.
the Boston Medical Society is going to chop me up.
What? What do you mean
Yep,
chop you up? You're not allowed to do
I'm
that.
donating my body to the doctors and the
Whoa,
students if they'll
that's
take me.
that's pretty cool. Helping science.
Yeah, then they cremate me for free.
Okay.
My mother would love that,
Okay.
saving money.
Did she did she get cremated?
Yes.
Okay.
And then there'll be which you're invited to, a service
Hmm.
probably at the Unitarian Universalist in Arlington.
In Arlington. Okay. I'll make sure to potentially put it on my calendar.
Yes,
Um, okay. So cremation, do you have any spiritual views on cremation? Any, or is it just be a way to save money, or is it you connected with a way to connect with your mom in the afterlife, or
great question. I think it's to save money.
okay.
I'm sorry.
That's
Ask the
okay.
great religious teacher what he's doing. He's saving money.
So you're have you made the decision yet to give your body to science? Oh, you're waiting for them to accept it?
They did, but I called to verify and they have not gotten back.
Ah, it's so annoying how that happens sometimes, you know. You follow all the rules, you make all the calls, and then they just haven't called back yet. I'm waiting for this guitar, and it's sort of been a long time. They say it's coming through on the 23rd, but I don't know. I'll call them if they don't call me. But
Well,
so
why
what?
don't you know if it's coming on the 23rd?
Well, I mean, cross my fingers. That's when they said it should arrive. But I ordered it on the 22nd of August, and
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So I've been waiting for it since then. But they've never given me a specific date until when I called them last month. So
Oh, well, that's good.
yeah,
They're people of their words.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Yes, it sounds it.
Thanks. Yeah, I look forward to it.
So you're getting a new guitar?
Yeah, yeah, a new guitar from a brand called BC Rich, which makes guitars specific for metal. And yeah, it's it seems like a very special guitar. I think I'll make some good riffs off it. I don't know. I've never played it before, so I'll have
And
to
you
see.
bought it without playing it?
Yeah, yeah. I really trust BC Rich. I've never played this brand before, and this type of guitar they make before. So I don't know what kind of music I'll be making when I get it, but if I need anything a little bit more metal, I'll go back to the store and try out some guitars in person over there. So, afterlife. You said you liked cremation? I mean, sorry, regeneration? I mean,
Reincarnation.
reincarnation, yeah.
I think left to my own devices,
Hmm.
would I like to be buried? I'd
Do
like
you have?
someone to dig a hole in the ground and put me in it. Yes, I would like that. I might rethink it.
Okay.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
expensive to be
To be cremated, to be buried?
expensive to have a coffin,
Oh yeah.
buy a plot of land.
Wow.
No, I don't believe in that.
Okay.
To I like to be scattered.
Hmm. Like my
I think
grandma.
there's something called green burial,
Yeah.
where they'll put you in a bag and you'll decompose.
Hmm.
Thanks to your question. No, I think no muss, no fuss, no bother. Cremation is
Okay.
easier. It's just less trouble.
What about the concept of being, I don't know, like one with fire or something? That sounds kind of cool, doesn't it?
Wow. And then with earth, with the ashes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my, you're making it sound attractive.
That's good. I'm gonna keep on working with you until you get a good idea about a good feeling for moving on.
But there's two more elements, water and air.
Hmm.
Well, cremation does air big time.
Yeah. And the
I
earth
don't
takes
know
in the
about
water.
water. What?
The earth takes in the water,
The water from,
rain, or if you're close to the ocean or a body of
oh, if
water.
you're in the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
I I love it.
Okay.
Thank you. You sold me. I'm gonna call them again tomorrow.
I'll call my boss and we'll put you on we'll ask for your check in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, okay. Cool. So cremation sounds kind of good. Waiting on the physical health student, the medical students to call you back, see if they'd be interested in your organs.
No, they said they would.
Oh,
I was
okay.
just calling to confirm.
Yeah. Maybe they had a lot of calls that
I've
day.
been planning.
Hmm.
Want to
Maybe
make
they
it
had.
easier for Michelle and maybe others.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, what kind of funeral would you like? What would you like to be in your funeral?
Um, I thought I wanted something like our creative Labor Day party.
Okay, that would be cool.
But this is winter very soon.
Mm.
So I'm not dying on the lovely first week of September.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I need to pick out a place where we can have something like people getting up and for 3 or 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I have to limit it to certain people and then have an open mic.
Cool. It sounds awesome. People can say, you know, the parts of their life that they've been with you throughout and just, you know, awesome memories and, you know, what
You
they,
can talk about if you want to be on when Tony walks out.
oh, okay, yeah. How did I meet Michael?
Say that again.
I was trying to think of a title or something. How did I meet Michael?
Oh my.
My friend's dad brought me over to have lunch one day, and there was Michael Coran. He had long gray hair, and he was looking at me with his wide eyes, and he was smiling, and they started talking, and they sounded like they knew each other for years, and I was just looking at these two amazing people, and they brought me over to this show, and then I'll have to talk about Anthony getting up and leaving the show, and then
Do you remember why?
it was something about creativity, trying to stifle his creativity or something, or
You might have looked at it that way.
mhm,
We had done a similar show 2 weeks earlier,
mhm,
and it was very unstructured.
mhm,
So we agreed when we were with you
mhm.
to write an outline.
Okay,
And we started, and Anthony started drifting away from the outline. And
okay,
for better or worse, I guess it's my show.
yeah,
I said, we've got to follow the outline.
mhm,
Tony, we just made it. And it doesn't work if it's not structured in some way.
mhm,
And he said, I didn't listen too well. If you say that one more time, I'm leaving.
mhm,
And I said, but we really need the outline. And he walked out
mhm.
and never spoke to me again.
Wow,
That was a huge reaction to something that was rather small.
yeah, yeah. I wonder what he was
Very,
going through there.
and then we followed the outline.
Mhm,
You said it was one of the best talks you've had.
mhm, mhm,
I called them up and told them because it was a good show.
mhm, mhm.
But he never reached out again.
Wow,
And this was my best friend.
your best friend.
Yep.
I did not know.
Oh, I loved Anthony. I still love him.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll meet him.
probably. Yeah,
I hope.
I'm sure he's waiting for you, looking forward
I
to it.
hope he doesn't hold it against me still.
Nah, nah, he would have let that go by now.
Yeah, I thought I saw him a few times when we went. I think you went with us once when we
Mhm.
went to the Arboretum.
No, I didn't go there.
Oh, we used to. I went there with Alex and
Hmm.
Martin. We used to sit there, Tony and I,
Hmm.
and love the view. And I saw him there after he died. And he said, don't fuck up the way I did.
Oh, wow. Oh,
And also those nice words, I love you. And
that's good. That's good. Well, he continues, you know. Alex was born, you know. It's not the end of his line, you know.
oh, here
Um,
comes Susan Allen.
oh, great.
You can tell her what we're doing.
Sure, sure. Hey, Susan.
What happened?
I don't know. She's no video, no audio. Oh,
Uh-huh.
video.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh ho.
audio. Hey, welcome, Susan, to
Thank
AHA,
you.
a
It's
human
good to
amongst
be
humans.
here. Thank
Good
you.
to have you.
I had to go, my car was on fumes, so I had to go get gas. And it's Christmas week. It's, before the holiday. And boy, where I was getting gas, I think the whole of Boston was leaving. You know what I mean? It was like,
Mhm. A lot of
but
traffic.
what's beautiful is that I was going an impossible way. In other words, the track was going this way and I was going that way.
Hmm.
And somebody stopped and let me through.
Sarah, let's get
Somebody
some light.
stopped and let me through. And that happened
Hey,
about three.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
hello, both of you. Good to have you on the
Bless.
show.
So John's going to tell you what we're talking about,
Yeah,
or maybe I will.
sure, sure.
So since I am dying, maybe soon, um, I'd love any questions. I'm supposed to give a talk. I don't know if I'll live for it. It's January 11th in Fallen Church in Lexington. Death is the best strip of all. That's why it's saved for last. So if you have any questions about dying, here I am, a reluctant expert.
Well, have you come to any kind of understanding about it at all?
Well, I think
Sorry.
I think I know that there's more than this life. And I'll meet Anthony. I've seen people in my kitchen, my mother and father, and someone I call the Grin Reaper.
The
Death,
grin, the
yes,
grin.
Death has a nice grin about him, but he's still dressed with a black hood on and a black cloak.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it might be hallucinations,
Yeah.
but Michelle's sister visited Saturday, and when I saw two spirits, and she was startled, and she said she saw two also.
Okay.
And since then, they feel here now, finding all three of them, my mother, father, and the Grin Reaper.
I don't think I've ever seen spirits before. That's pretty cool. Did
Yes,
they say
I
anything
haven't
to you?
either.
Did they say anything to you? Did they communicate or
Not yet.
no? Just there.
I might ask.
What was your feeling about that?
Matter of fact,
So you weren't frightened at all?
no. Today I was feeling for the first time when I couldn't even digest a smoothie
Mm.
that it might be very soon. My hospice nurse said, if you stop eating and drinking, it's 4 or 8 days.
Oh.
And each day is still better than the last. Way better. Much, much thanks to the three of you.
Mm.
Much thanks to the three of you and people like you. Not only can I thank you enough, I'm learning to appreciate you more. Way more.
What's the feeling like when that happens in your body? What's the feeling like when you appreciate people even more? Can you explain that?
Yes. I used to think of people as supporting cast. Even you, Susan, you're here to help me. I'm here to be loving and kind and pay you money, but and now I realize it's you who've decided to be my teacher and my friend, my loving friend. It's you. I sometimes have to protect myself from beautiful, loving women like you. Really. But I didn't just appreciate. Same with you, Sarah. You, John. I've known Susan and Sarah longer. But I'm just getting, this is dumb. You choose to be my loving and so helpful beyond belief. All three of you in different ways.
You have a poem, several poems. I'd
It's
love to hear.
astounding. Haven't thought about it in terms of me yet. I guess I too. I think I thought I was being good and caring and kind to all three of you. But I realize now I'm choosing to be your loving friend.
Mhm.
And you're choosing to be mine. That's simple but astounding.
Mhm. It is.
And I love it. It's sad that it took me until dying to really get it, but I'm always learning something new. I'll learn something new tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, that's how you look at life, though. I know you look at life through lessons. I've seen it 1,000 times, how you see things. You say, what lesson is in this? There's always a lesson, you know, lessons and blessings, blessings and lessons,
Yes,
blessings.
Sarah, you're understandably sad, I think. Well, you can say your sadness if you like.
Well, I think I saw spirits when I was probably about 3 or 4. I didn't know who they were. They came in through the wall, and then I just kind of put that idea somewhere else that there is a spirit world. It's almost too good to be true,
So
and
you tell everybody you saw it when you were 3 or 4.
mhm.
And who
And
did you see? Who did
I
you see?
oh, what was the question?
What did you see?
Oh, I saw so I shared a room with my sister. We both had these slept in these little twin beds a few inches apart with these tall headboards. And I would look as soon as my sister would start snoring or breathing heavily, without fail, through the wall behind her headboard, three, at the time, I thought middle-aged men, maybe 30-something-year-old men, they seemed like they're about the age of my dad, came in through the wall. And the three of them, I'd make out a whisper. They'd look over at me and smile, and then they would carry on their conversation with themselves. They'd stay for maybe 5 minutes and then travel back through the wall. And they came every single night. And every day I would ask my parents if they had ever seen ghosts, because I just thought, I don't know if this is normal. Like, even though I'm 3, there's something that's telling me that I don't know if other people are seeing these ghosts. And without fail, my sister would promise me she would stay awake, and then without fail, she'd fall asleep, and that's when they would appear.
Wow.
My dad came downstairs. There was one bathroom. My parents slept upstairs. He came downstairs to use the bathroom. And I thought, oh my gosh, the ghosts are visiting. This is perfect. And I said, Dad, quick, come look, the ghosts. And the ghosts, the three faces dropped. The middle one, their jaw dropped. It was this like shocking revelation. They could hear me though, because that was the first time that I ever spoken. And my dad said, I am so sick of this ghost talk. There are no ghosts. And he flipped on the lights and flipped them back off. And they never came back.
Wow.
Yeah. But they could hear me, and the three of them were having a great time. And whenever I have friends that are at the end of their lives, I just always want to reassure people that there is a spirit world.
Wow. Thank
Um,
you.
and they were having a great time. I'm like that. And I've had a couple other experiences where I did kind of this seance thing before COVID, like 5 years ago, and I called up my grandmother, and the person leading it asked the spirit world to show up, and if you're a spirit, please show yourself. And I had tingling all around my body, like someone was hugging me. And at the very end of the session, the person immediately to my right, which was up against my left forearm, said to me, it was a little weird, but the one thing that really freaked me out about this was when they called up the spirit world, my forearm was tingling, and I'm so freaked out by it. So, I mean, I wanted my grandmother to show up, and I felt like I had this warm hug of tingling I've never experienced. So that was even more real than the ghost showing up when I was 3. And when Tony died, your friend Tony died, you would call me that night. I had a dream. Tony was in my dream. He was hiking. I was going up a chairlift, and I called down to him, and we had a conversation, and he did not know he had passed. And he's like, I'm out enjoying my hike. I said, have a great hike. You invited me to the celebration of life at Tony's brother's house. His niece gets up. She said the day that someone called to tell me that Tony had died, Uncle Tony had died, I went to sleep that night. I had a dream. I was in a mountain looking down at Tony. He didn't know he had died, and we had a quick exchange. So, and I said, was that mountain New Hampshire? Because I had that same dream. So he was having a hike, he was hanging out. And then for 3 days in a row, I've never had this experience, but I went back to Tony dropped me off one time. So he's been to my place. Literally, for 3 days in a row. I'm literally outside my door and I'm like, someone is in there. I can feel this energy. I've never had this experience before. Sure enough, I mean, I went in and like everything was calm and settled, but for 3 days in a row, coming back at night, I'm like, someone is behind that door. And I was apologizing for my place being a mess to Tony. I'm like, it's a little messy, you know. But no, the spirit world, I cannot, it's very real. It's very real.
So it sounds like the best thing is for
The
you.
cool kids, there's so many cool kids on the other side.
So many what?
So many cool kids are in the spirit realm right now.
Wow.
I mean, I'm very excited for your next journey, but of course, I'm gonna miss you like crazy. I love you like crazy. And you've
Well, I
been
might be
phenomenal support.
around caring for you, being a
Yeah.
good Nick.
I cannot, I know I'm gonna feel it. I'm gonna have so much care.
Yes, little nud licking.
Hmm.
Well, what do you think of this, John? What do you think?
I think this sounds awesome. I mean, you got a lot of people in the spiritual world, I'm pretty sure, want to hang out with you again. I've never seen, I don't think I've ever seen ghosts or spirits, but from these stories, I believe they're true and everything. And it sounds pretty cool, you know. I feel like there's probably more dimensions than that spirit world as well that you could check out and then, come back and tell your spirit friends, you know. I just been to this part of the universe, you could probably do that as a ghost, as a spirit.
And Susan,
Yes,
what do you think?
I'm listening. You know, all I can say is that to go into the other worlds is to travel. Um, it's all vibration. It's all energy and vibration. And the more love that you can bring, the higher and more refined is the vibration. So the farther you can travel, you know. And so I have experienced traveling on the inner. I also have experienced things in my dreams. I know when I go to sleep at night, there are times when I travel and I'm aware of it. And then there are other times when I don't remember my dreams at all. I mean, I know that I have dreamed, but I don't remember them at all. And for a long time, I didn't. I didn't think that I dreamed, but I know that's not true. You have to dream, and so I feel like dreams. I feel like this is a waking dream. So, you know, it's funny we were talking about that because we all know that we're going to pass over, we're going to drop these shells, these bodies, because they get old or something happens. We know that, but we don't.
Not for you yet, John, but for the rest of us.
But we don't want to know that. We want to act as if it goes on forever. You know, we don't want to know that we're going to drop it, but we are. And so we always wonder, well, what, like Sarah, like what is beyond, you know? And when I was about 16 years old, I got it. I understood something about matter turning into other matter or other stuff. And that was Einstein's theory of relativity. And I was around 16, and I remember one day I said, "Well, what happens when a house burns? When a house burns down, what happens to the energy? Does it die? Does it disintegrate? Does what happens to it?" And it changes form. And when I realized that, I can't put it into words. It was a huge realization that we just change form, you know? that we have always been, and that this is a waking dream. And it's been a good ride.
I see people
sometimes not a good ride
in a
at all.
great ride. John,
Mhm.
your metaphysics with the Eight of Clubs and the seems to be open to this.
Yeah, I mean, my interpretation of the cards, clubs is the spiritual element, world, powers, magic, spirit. If I were to sort of relate the suit to a human body, um, diamonds would be the mind. Um, spades would be sort of the muscle and bone. Heart would be the blood and the circulation, and clubs would be the spirit. Um, and you can connect with that. And Eight of Clubs is a really interesting card. I mean, eight is just an interesting number, but you make it spiritual. It's sort of turn it sideways. It's infinity and sort of all connected. The number eight can be sort of two sort of like two worlds combining or something like that. So if you like think about the Eight of Clubs every night, just kind of connect with that every night. That'd be cool. You might be able to have some sort of connection with this world and the spirit world.
Well, this is good news for me. You're
Yeah.
giving me good news.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
is good.
yeah. We were just talking about cremation because we were trying to figure out what way Michael wanted to go, and then you just talked about the fire as in like transition. The theory of relativity of just sort of transferring forms.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you were cremated, and Michael was saying, that you'd be connected with fire, you'd be connected with the earth, you'd be connected with water and the air. So
Mhm.
Well,
No,
it sounds like in an expensive trip.
inexpensive.
Yes, you might have to rent a hall, but I'll miss you. I think
I miss you.
I might be
No,
with
when
you.
when you get up there, I mean, I think Sarah can vouch for this. Maybe she can. You're observing things. You once you leave this shell, once you leave this old decrepit shell, which I'm getting there, um, you still have a form. You still have what one would call your thoughts or consciousness, which is beyond your thoughts, but it's a form. It's a light form, and you still have everything. You are a sum total of all the lifetimes you've ever lived before. But we can't know those. We're blessed uh, to almost we're blessed into forgiveness or forgetting because we're starting with a fresh slate. And so as you drop this form, see if this fits. It might not fit, but as you drop this form, you go into the soul, which actually was always part of you. It was always part of you. You can say, "Oh, I came from soul," or "I'm going to soul," but in a sense, we the thing that drives me is my heart. It's not so much my mind. I use my mind, but the thing that really gives me life here
Um,
is my heart, you know?
well, you're giving me a good send off, all of you.
Well, I don't know, Michael. It's up to you to choose how you see things because that's how it will be. That's how it will be. Like you saw your mother and father, they've come to visit.
I might start asking them stuff and
Yeah.
asking Mr. Grin Reaper questions. They seem to be here. And I
And
never
that's
believed, I shouldn't say I didn't believe. I wasn't like Sarah. I didn't experience. The only closest experience I had when I was 11. And I was visiting with my parents, my dad's brother and family in Queens. And I went for a walk. John might identify with this. Everything became very, very loud. The tires in the cars, sound of people walking, really loud. And I didn't know what to make of it. And I go home to where my Aunt Joyce was and Uncle Barney. And as I'm about to go into the door, I think, maybe this agrees with you, Susan, everybody's going to put on a mask and pretend to be who they are. But they're really something way louder and more interesting, more real, maybe more dark. And I didn't say a word. But when I visited my Aunt Joyce and Uncle Barney in Chicago when I was at the university, I realized they have a persona. They really are pretending to be Uncle Barney and Aunt Joyce. It's a role they're playing. And so that was what I thought of at 11 was really true. And I didn't say a word to them about it.
Mhm. So something in you knew not to say a word.
Yes, in my 20s, I knew that. And even when I was 11, I didn't understand it. So this, maybe we all understand that we're all, there's an old song, putting on the agony. John might play it with his drums or new guitar. Putting on the agony, putting on the style. That's what all the young folk are doing all the while. And as I look around me, I'm very apt to smile to see so many people putting on the style. I just discovered that today. I didn't really take in that you have chosen to be loving, helpful friends.
Yeah.
I knew it, but I didn't really feel that this was a choice you were making. And you could not make it. And I didn't appreciate, oh my God, did I not appreciate your choice to be loving, caring friend. Whether you knew it consciously or not. You really are giving me a gift, and I'm not sure I really appreciated. I was doing good. I tried to be loving because I was bad. But I really chose to be connected to John Joshua William Oxenford each time. And I think to be celebrated. I should thank Michelle each night she comes in home, not take her for granted or not be terrorized. How should I relate? Just thank you for choosing to be with me. And maybe it's hard because as so many children, it was so painful to be with people. So how could I thank them? They were a pain. But thanks to you and people like you, you're not a pain. When I can connect to you. When I can't connect, it's hard. But I'm learning to connect, letting it be. Don't have to do anything to connect. Just let the connection flow. Well, we have 3 minutes to say goodbye. So why don't you all take a minute and say goodbye?
Well, I mean, yeah, deciding to be on this show and see you pretty much every Wednesday was a choice, but I got so much from it. I think I said numerous times it's very therapeutic, you know, being on the show, talking with you and talking with Sarah and talking with Susan. But yeah, we were talking every Wednesday, and I felt like I grew. I felt like I found emotions that I didn't have another, time to really connect with that. So I really appreciate knowing you, Michael.
You're taking over, John.
Okay.
Hopefully with Sarah and Susan's help.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Susan, anything?
Oh, I couldn't fill it in 30 seconds. And I think that's what I've got. Um, I was so smitten by you in 2012, maybe earlier than that, at Somerville Access TV, SCAT TV. And I literally became literally smitten
Wow.
with everything that you were, everything that you represented. And I saw freedom. I saw a sense of uh, fun and freedom, and the poetry was haiku. Instead of haiku, you did haiku. And, this is like I'm laughing at life. Although I know you took it very seriously, but some part of you just wanted to laugh at life, and you changed my life. I don't think I've ever kept a job as long as I have with you, as editing, um, and it was and learning about money and time and for my side, but I just appreciated who you were a thousandfold, You know, I never felt the grip of your depression so much. And when I'd come to meet you and we'd have tea and then we'd get to work, um, it was a joy for me. It was a center point for me, you know, because
Thank you, thank you. Wow, I wasn't counting on
I was pretty out of
testimony.
focus at that time.
I
Still
thought we
am,
would
but
talk about
better.
what we learned. Sarah, what do you think?
Um, Humor, my the playfulness and humor um are the things that I think about through the day when I think about you. Those are like my two favorite things about you.
What was
Just
the first?
the playfulness and humor. Your
Oh, my.
humor.
And I
Um,
see it in you now. I didn't appreciate it as much. I see it in you now. It's deep in you. Deep,
what is deep?
deep humor and deep playfulness is
It's
really you.
oh well, that's so sweet.
And I missed it.
I miss it. I would get together with Michael and we discuss just funny stories that were stressing me out, and I can be neurotic and need to go on and on, and we would just be laughing, and then we'd pull up the Old Testament and give examples and connect some of these wild people to the polyamor in the Old Testament, Poly City, and we would just be I mean, just the laughter and the joy. It's so much joy, and I was overwhelmed during COVID, and I was going into the hospital and hearing stories, and this person had passed, that person had passed. People's loved ones, they'd come in and say, all, tell me all these sad stories. And then I would connect with Michael over the Old Testament. I'm like, thank goodness I have these Old Testament once a week with Michael's, and we can just laugh about the Old Testament. And just, oh, so much fun. Just so much fun.
I can see you. Well, if I'm here,
Yes.
next Wednesday is Christmas,
Yeah.
and the following Wednesday is New Year. So we probably should wait till January, first Wednesday in January. Oh, no, the second.
But you know what? I was going to say, if you wanted to pick a different day or time on Zoom, you could.
Yes, we could.
Mhm.
Do we want to pick?
Get my calendar.
And Susan, it's great to see you.
Why don't we do it on the 26th
The 26th. What
and
time?
the 2nd? Why don't we try if I'm here?
Yeah.
The 26th?
The
What time?
26th at 6 o'clock
Sure.
Okay.
and the 2nd at 6. If
Oh.
I'm not here, you can check Caring Bridge.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
John, is that good?
Should be good.
Yeah.
Jan 2nd at 6.
Yeah,
The 26th.
26th, Thursday.
Isn't
Yeah,
that Boxing Day?
It's Hanukkah, apparently.
Yes, it is Boxing Day. This has cheered me up so much.
Good.
This has cheered us all up so much.
Yeah. I think we should do this at 6 o'clock every night.
Wow.
For 10 minutes.
Yes, maybe.
I don't know. It might drip over a little longer, but yeah, we
I
could.
mean, right?
Feel free to call, Hugh. Well, you've made me much more cheerful.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was sad. We'll see if I'm sad again. As soon as we say
Well,
good-
I think when people connect with each other, there's something happens. something amazing happens, especially when you care about each other, you know? It's just something in the connection. I think human beings are supposed to connect with each other. We're not supposed to
Yep.
be, you know? I think we're social creatures.
Well, we'll continue this topic.
Okay.
Questions of what can we learn about dying? Maybe you have other you
Tomorrow? Are we going to meet tomorrow?
no next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
I know I would listen to those like near death experiences. There's you go on YouTube and you just people share their stories. And I just remember you'd hear stories from hospice nurses. And I do love this quote. This person died right before this person dies. The last words were, all that worrying for nothing.
Wow! On that happy note, I love you more than I knew.